Mistakes happen, and with so many moving parts to selling on Amazon, it's common to make mistakes, especially if you don't know what you're looking to avoid. So let me cover with you guys the top 12 common mistakes that Amazon sellers make, so hopefully you won't make them and it'll save you a lot of time and a lot of money.
Hi, I'm Cassandra Barney with Profit Guru. I'm a teacher, mother of 3, and Amazon FBA seller. Here at Profit Guru, we're dedicated to trying strategies out and continually improving our own software to help other Amazon sellers just like you.
Welcome back to Profit Guru. If you're here with me now, that must mean that either you're a seller on Amazon or you're considering to be a seller on Amazon. Now, let me tell you, there are a ton of mistakes that you can make as a new seller, and even mistakes that veteran sellers make. So hopefully by knowing what to avoid in my list right now, it's going to help you to be a better seller and to save yourself a ton of money. Stick with me until the end because that's when I'm going to reveal the number one mistake that has personally cost me the most amount of money so far. Mistake number one that Amazon sellers make, especially newer sellers, is not knowing the rules. Amazon has a lot of terms. So if you don't know these terms and what they expect from you, you are very liable to get your account shut down very quickly. So the best thing to do as a new seller is to go into the terms for Amazon and to read through them. Familiarize yourself with what Amazon expects and what they don't want to see from you. For example, something small, a mistake you could make is trying to funnel people away from Amazon. Maybe if you have a different website, trying to lure them to go to that website, that's a big no-no with Amazon, and if you do it, they can shut you down. But if you don't know that you can't do it, then you might not be thinking you're doing anything wrong. So really familiarize yourself with the terms, because that's a big mistake new sellers make is they don't know the rules. And Amazon has a lot of rules that they expect you to play by. Mistake number two that I see a lot of Amazon sellers make is not knowing exactly what they can sell. So not everything will be open to you to sell when you are a new seller on Amazon. Even veteran sellers that have been around for a while, that doesn't mean they can sell anything they want to on Amazon. Some items will be gated, meaning there's a gate up, you can't sell them, and some items will be ungated. So you really need to familiarize yourself with what categories and brands you are able to sell in. I see some people who they are out doing retail arbitrage, they find a good deal, they get excited about it, they think, okay, I found a ton of these Nike shirts and I can buy them for $8 and they're selling for $40, I'm gonna make a huge profit on them, and they buy them all. And then when they get home to sell them, they see that Nike is a brand that is gated. You cannot just sell Nike. You usually have to go through the hoops of getting ungated with them. So definitely know what you can and can't sell so that you're not just getting a ton of inventory and then expecting to list it and make a profit off of, and then you're stuck with this inventory because you're actually gated in it and you can't sell it. The third mistake I see sellers make is with their profit margins. So get yourself an FBA calculator and make sure that you're using it. There are a lot of fees associated with selling on Amazon. So if you see something and maybe it's $12 in the store and you get excited and think, oh, it's selling for like $18 on Amazon, I'm gonna make a ton of money on it, that's probably not the case. There are a lot of fees associated, and those fees can cut into your profits very quickly. So the typical rule of thumb, if you're familiar with watching me here, you know that I love the 3 times rule. Really, you want to find products that are selling for 3 times the amount on Amazon than what you are buying them for. And the reason is because, say you buy something for $10 and it sells for $30 on Amazon. You're not making $20. You're investing $10 in the product. That's 1/3 of the cost of the $30. And then another $10 is probably going to go towards Amazon fees. Then your return after that would be $10. So really what you want to do is avoid products that are selling on the low end. You're probably going to get better returns if you're selling products that are around $20 and up. Really, because if you're selling items that aren't around $20, maybe they're like $9 to $10, most of your profit will be going to the fees. So make sure that the items that you're choosing, that you're running them through a profit calculator first so that you can see the fees associated with them and know that your return is going to be good in the end. The fourth mistake that I see sellers make is with their inventory stock. Now this can go both ways. You can either have not enough inventory or too much inventory. So what I mean by this is if you're creating your own listing and you're selling those items on that listing, but then you go out of stock, that's going to drop your rating on the listing. So you're going to want to see how many units you're selling each month of this listing that you created and make sure that you have enough in stock so that you're not going out of stock. But if you're an arbitrage seller and you're putting all of your eggs into one basket, that might be a bad thing as well, especially because maybe this item is seasonal. So you're definitely going to want to check if this is only selling during certain months of the year, and then you get a ton of it, and now you come out of those months, now that inventory is just going to be sitting. And that's money that you need back in your pocket so that you can reinvest it to keep scaling your business. So you're definitely going to want to keep tabs on inventory. See how many units per month things are selling. And if you're not sure if something is a good buy or not, I wouldn't just go all in and purchase 20, 40 units of this item. I would go with probably a smaller amount for a test buy. I know some arbitrage sellers who their test buy is only like 5 units, just to make sure those 5 units are going to sell and to see how fast they sell. So once you know that it is a good unit, then you can see how many units it sold and then how many you'll need for the next month. But I wouldn't just go looking at a listing and thinking that it's, oh, okay, I'm going to sell a ton and put all of your eggs into one basket, because then something could always happen. Amazon could also jump onto that listing and then the buy box price could go way down. This has personally happened to me. I found a listing that was a great listing, so I bought like 24 units of it. Lo and behold, as soon as I sent that inventory in, here comes Amazon and they completely own the buy box and they drop the price right down. So you don't want to tie up all of your money into one piece of inventory. But you also don't want to have not enough inventory, especially if it's a listing you created, and to make the rank go down. The 5th common mistake that I see sellers make is they want to buy things with their heart. That's not what you want to do on Amazon. That's not what it's about. If you have a certain shade of lipstick that's your favorite, so you think, oh, I love it, other people are going to love it, I'm just going to buy a ton of these and sell them online. That's not how it works. You should be buying things not with your heart, but by what the data is saying. So you should be looking at historical metrics for these items and making sure that they're selling well and that they're selling well across time before you're deciding to purchase them. Don't purchase with your heart. Purchase with what your charts are telling you to purchase. This brings me into the 6th mistake that people make, and it's investing your money in the wrong place. A lot of new sellers think, oh my gosh, I have to buy a course. I need somebody to teach me how to do this. And then they spend thousands of dollars on a course to teach them how to do Amazon. It's really not necessary. There are so many people for free, this channel being one of them, that wants to share with you how to do this. So find yourself some YouTube channels, find yourself some Facebook groups. You can learn how to do Amazon really good. A lot of it is just hands-on. So once you get the grasp of it, start doing it, jump in and do it. Don't invest your money into thousands of dollars for a coach. But what you do need to invest your money in is a program that's going to give you historical metrics, something like Profit Guru, so that you can pull up the data, you can pull up the charts, you can see where the buy box is, you can see how often this unit's selling, how many units a month, what's the typical price it's going for. That's what you need to put your money into. You have to have a piece of software that's going to help you to make the good buying decisions so that you're not buying with your heart, you're buying with the data, and that the data is showing, yes, these units sell. Invest your money in the right place. Which brings me into the next mistake of not looking at the historical metrics. If you're looking at an item and right now, maybe it's November, right? It's near the holidays, it's selling for $40, it might be something that is a seasonal item. So if you're going to stockpile this item and then after the holidays, it's either A, not selling, or B, the buy box goes down to $20, now it's not profit that you can count on. Make sure that you're using that money that you invested into your software to be checking the metrics for every single item before you decide to pull the trigger and to buy it. This leads me into the number 8 mistake, and that is analysis paralysis. I myself am guilty of this. So I'll think I'm doing all of the right things. I found a product, I'm checking the data, I'm checking the charts. It's not seasonal, the buy box is steady, and then I just kind of get in my head a little bit. I'm like, oh, I don't know, should I do it? Maybe Amazon's gonna come on, what should I do? Once you start doing that and you get like into this paralysis state, you're really not going to be making any progress. So have your criteria. Have your criteria set right out for what you're looking for the products. Then if that product checks all of the boxes that you're looking for, pull the trigger and buy your test amount. That doesn't mean to go all in and buy 50 of them and clear the shelf. Decide what your test amount of units is going to be and then buy them and send them in and see how they do. The number 9 common mistake for selling on Amazon is not knowing how to correctly prep and package your items. So once you do finally pull the trigger and buy those items, now you need to know the correct way to package them. Something like Inventory Lab is really great because it tells you what exactly you need to do to that item to prep it if you're not sure. So things you need to have on hand would be tape. If you have something that's a product that could open, maybe the bottle could come open, you're definitely going to want to tape that down. If it's something that you can hold it up and drop it and it will break, well, that means you're going to want to wrap that in bubble wrap. If it's anything that can be touched and get dirty, these warehouses are very dirty. So for example, if you were selling like a winter beanie hat, you would definitely want to put that inside of a poly bag so that it stays clean. If you are selling something that's a set, that goes in a poly bag, the FNSKU goes on the outside of the bag, the barcodes themselves on the products have to be hidden so that the wrong barcode isn't scanned, and on that bag you need to put that this is a set so they know not to open it at the warehouse. So make sure you're familiar with how to prep and package your supplies the right way before sending them in. This way you're going to avoid the warehouse maybe opening a bag that was actually supposed to be a set and kept together, and products will stay safe when they get to the customers not being broken. That's going to save you a lot of money on returns and probably some negative feedback on your account. So if you're not prepping it the right way, the customer gets the item and it oozed all out of the bag and was a mess, they're probably going to leave you some negative reviews on that. So know how to prep your items the correct way. The 10th mistake that I see is people not knowing what an IP complaint is. So there are certain brands that they don't want other people selling their items. And if you try to jump onto that listing and sell the item, you're going to get hit with what's called an IP complaint. So if you are time after time jumping on these listings and the brands are coming at you and filing a complaint against you, that looks really bad for your metrics on your seller account. So something else you might want to invest in is some type of software that can detect IP alerts. This way, if you're looking at a listing, mine that I have, it pops right up. It will say, if I look at an item, this brand is known to give IP complaints. And then I know to avoid it and to get off that listing and to go source something else. So know what IP complaints are, get familiar with what type of brands issue them all of the time, and if you can, purchase yourself some software so that you know what's going to give you an IP complaint and you can avoid it. The 11th mistake that people make is not adding value for the customer. So if you're trying to sell a pot holder, the same pot holder that somebody else is already trying to sell, how are you going to be able to add value to that to make yourself stand out and to make you get the sales over somebody else? So when you're trying to put things together into bundles to sell, you really need to think about items that are, number one, complementing each other. You wouldn't want to put something random in there that didn't make sense, right? Like if you're selling a pot holder, if you put a little keychain with it to think, oh, it's something extra and now no one else can jump on the listing, that doesn't make sense to go together. So you're going to want to think to yourself, if I'm creating a listing and I want to sell bundles, how am I going to add value for the customer to make my bundle stand out and to make it make sense, to make the items go together and complement each other? And the number 12 mistake, the one that has cost me personally the most amount of money lost, is not having the listing be an exact match to the item that you're sending in. So some sellers who make listings on Amazon do actually a really crappy job at doing it. And I like things when it's black and white. I can look at it, I can see the title, I can see the picture, I can see the bullets, everything matches up. The unit weight matches up, but not all listings are like that. So something will look like a really good buy, but then you have to go the extra mile and dig deeper through that listing. You need to make sure that everything matches to a T. I've bought units of, like, let's say lotion, and it says that it's one bottle of lotion, the picture shows one, the bullet shows the unit volume for one, but then if you go down a little further and read the package dimension weights, it's a lot heavier. It's not just one, it's more. What I have started doing, it's just a general rule of thumb for me now. I will go down and I will read the question and answers and what people are leaving for reviews. So if a product looks too good to be true and the return on it is like 200%, it's probably not just one unit. Even if the title says one unit, even if there's only one in the picture, you should always go down and check the package dimensions to see what the weight is. That's going to be a clear indicator for you if it's one unit or not. Then go above and beyond. I go down to the question and answers and I see, because typically if it's unclear to me how many units are in it, it's probably unclear to buyers as well. And they usually ask these questions in the question and answer section. How many units come in this? So I look right there at the Q&A for the answer. If it's not there, then I go down into the comments. I want to see the reviews that people are leaving on this. Because if they're leaving 1 star and then the feedback says, I expected 3 and I only received 1, that tells me right there, okay, I don't want to be on this listing. It's a very gray listing and the customers aren't happy with it. Yes, it's looking like 1, but they're expecting 3. So always take the time, and it does take time, but take the time to make sure that if you are selling arbitrage, that it is an exact match to the listing. Because if it's not, you're gonna make some customers really upset, and that's how you get bad reviews for your account. If you have bad reviews, then people are less likely to want to buy from you. So there you have it. There's the 12 common most mistakes I'm seeing Amazon sellers making. Some of these mistakes I'm even making myself. So familiarize yourself with them so that you yourself aren't going to make these mistakes. As always, like and subscribe to Profit Guru, because we will be selecting 3 people each month to give them an annual free subscription to our software, which is amazing, which provides you with all of these historical data and these profit calculators and things that I was talking about that you're gonna want so that you're not making mistakes that will cost you money. So like and subscribe so hopefully you can win the free subscription, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.